Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate my colleague from Tennessee, Congressman Cohen. Yesterday I was talking to some young students, college students, a group of Jewish folks, and I was talking to them about Israel, of course, but I invited them into my office, and one of them actually was, he pointed out a Cirrus aircraft that was on, a model of it that was on my desk, and that he actually flew one of those, and I thought that was pretty cool, and I appreciate you mentioning that. We're very proud of that in our district. And I apologize, I'm wearing a coat. I'm a little cold. Pete Stauber, he was basically in shirt sleeves over here burning up, and of course, he's from Minnesota, so I guess that tells you why. And I'm from Tennessee, so I'm just a little cold over here. But Mr. Bunce, what role does our industry play in implementing the FAA reauthorization?
We work very closely with the FAA. I think people realize, obviously Mr. Santa's controllers do a phenomenal job of keeping us safe and everything, but we have routine interactions with the FAA all the time in the certification and flight standards area. So that part of the FAA is very critical to us, and that part of the FAA is the one that's had a tremendous drain in mid-level management and also younger people. Industry competes on wages, and a lot of people have just simply left for the private sector. And so it is of paramount importance to us that those technicians that we work with are trained properly, are back in the office so that they can collaborate together, and those older heads that are still there can train that younger workforce to be able to work with a sector where technology is progressing so rapidly. And the only way we'll be able to keep up, and our regulatory authorities can be able to remain the gold standard for aviation across the planet, is to be able to have that training and that working in the office together.
On that same track, what do you think the best way for Congress, for us to work with industry on that implementation?
I think what you've done also with workforce development, but also, the FAA responds very strongly to questions from Congress and pressure. And really, as each one of these reauthorizations go through the process, you require some rulemaking that's done. A lot of us in industry come to you to ask for that rulemaking because things aren't happening fast enough. So having the FAA report to you on some metrics, just an ability to see how quickly they process all of the work that has to be done. There's got to be some type of accountability, especially within the certification workforce, that they provide industry answers to things like issue papers that we often are required to put forward, and they just go back and forth within the bureaucracy, and we don't get an answer. And any answer is better than no answer. If they say no, we try to figure out how to go ahead and give them a new approach to be able to have a positive answer. This is important.
Let me ask you, will the reauthorization, will it help support the private sector innovation?
Absolutely. There's a lot of emphasis that you all put in technology here. And when we look at advanced air mobility, when we look at unmanned aircraft systems, technology will provide some answers that help provide to Mr. Santa's workforce some new technology out there, new methods to be able to go and have the situational awareness to be able to handle the increased amount of vehicles we are going to put into the airspace. And so being able to address the significant workforce issues that we have, coupled with providing the technology both to pilots in the air, those that control unmanned aircraft systems, and also providing Mr. Santa's workforce with new technology will help us maintain this safety that we've come to know and appreciate.
Thank you. Mr. Bradbury, can you provide us some examples of some unnecessary red tape that the FAA reauthorization should address? I know Mr. Bruce mentioned things back and forth.
Certainly, there's been a couple circumstances where Congress has set forth on land that was purchased or procured with airport funds, and being able to use that and put it into exceptional and market use. That's been a slower process than anticipated, and I think misinterpreted by the FAA Congress intent. So that's just one example of that we've seen that we're expecting improvement on with this bill.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, yield the rest of my time. Thank you, sir.